we should return that. We should return it because the little tablet bringing us your huddled masses, all this. We don't do none of that.
Hungry, no.
Yes, we don't do none of that. There is no liberty here.
Guess what? Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but America doesn't have a great history. If you can say that your loved one is a little messed up and ain't all right, why is it hard for you to say that your country ain't a little messed up and ain't all right?
This is an Unsolicited Perspectives YouTube exclusive.
There was an article in the Rolling Stone by Naomi LaChance.
Okay.
Now, I thought that's a really cool name, Naomi LaChance. But the title of the article is Trump to bring white South Africans as refugees to the U.S. while cutting everyone else out. So basically, the article details the Trump administration's decision to admit white South Africans as refugees to the United States while maintaining a near total suspension of the border U.S. refugee policy program. This move, justified by the administration as a response to alleged race-based persecution in South Africa, is a highly controversial situation given the circumstances and exclusion of refugees from other regions. The policy has sparked criticism from humanitarian organizations and the South African government, which disputes the claims of racial persecution against these white South African people. The administration plans to provide these refugees with housing, food, and other assistance, and may admit up to 1,000 white South Africans this year. All right, Jay, why did I bring this up?
Why did you?
Because this administration has become adamant about cutting off refugees and asylum seekers from Central, South American countries and Muslim countries.
Yeah.
So if you are brown, you can't come here.
Correct.
But if you're white, you can.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something also, there's a connection here. There's somebody close to the president and the administration that's also
a white
South African. And people are going to say, well, they're being racially persecuted. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
And the administration is going to say, well, their land is being taken. No, they haven't. The government has said that land can be seized for certain situations. But guess what? We have that here in this country. It's called eminent domain. They've been seizing other people's land here in this country. The U.S. has been seizing other people's legal land under the title of eminent domain. So this is not anything new.
Yeah.
What is new is that white people being allowed in this country and everybody else not being allowed in this country.
Yeah. So to be clear about what's going on in South Africa. According to Reuters, 3 decades since Nelson Mandela ushered democracy into South Africa, the white minority that ruled it has managed to retain most of the wealth that it amassed under colonialism and apartheid. Whites still own 3/4 of private land and about 20 times the wealth of the Black majority, according to the Review of Political Economy, is an international academic journal. Yeah. So whites are also the race least affected by joblessness in South Africa. So they're fine. The only discrimination that they feel is, I guess, what they would call reverse racism, but it's really honestly just returning the stuff you guys stole. Like, you don't get to just, I get that, like, the whole premise of your society is like, look at all the stuff we stole. I get that.
that's the premise of their society. Look at all the stuff that we got all this.
They have museums like dedicated, and you pay to look at the stuff they stole. So as I get it, you know, your whole economy, everything, look at all the people and the stuff that we stole. And this is how we became rich. So I get that. But this is literally the most racist, like blatantly racist. Black and brown, get the hell out of here. White, come on in. Like, it was even a French parliamentarian said that we should give back the Statue of Liberty because we no longer uphold
Liberty.
the principles of the reason we were gifted the Statue of Liberty from France. And I think they're 100% right. We should return that. We should return it because the little tablet bringing us your huddled masses, all that. We don't do
The
none
poor,
of
you're
that.
hungry. No.
Yes, we don't do none of that. There is no liberty here. There hasn't been in ever.
In ever.
Yeah.
And I want to correct you on something.
Mm.
Even though the minority group, white people in South Africa, own 75% of the land, the government is not taking their land.
Right.
The government is not saying, we're coming in and taking your land. The government is saying that we can take your land, but it's been written into the Constitution or it's been written in the law. And there are certain reasons why they would take land. And once again, for all the people who's like, you can't take land, they do it here in this country all the time.
Yeah, they literally
do it in this country all of the time. This is not new. Look up eminent domain. If you don't believe me, please just Google it. Just Google it. You can read it. It's a legal document.
Yeah.
You can read about it. But why was I interested in this? Because upon starting his second term, President Trump halted the U.S. refugee resettlement program and cut funding for resettlement organizations affecting aid for refugees globally. But he's making an exception for white folks.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's going to be hilarious when they get here because what are you coming to?
They're coming. They're going to be coming to celebrate it. Elon might probably give them all jobs at Tesla. It's only going to be 1,000 total.
No, Elon wouldn't willingly hire white people. He'd have to pay them. So,
I mean, his people I'm sure he had a little something to do with this.
There's not going to be nothing set up for them.
Here. Well, no, that's not true. They're getting funding, money, housing, food, all of that stuff.
Really?
They're being taken care of.
Oh, well.
No. That's a part of the program.
The rest of America.
Well, no. The rest of America isn't being taken care of.
Yes, I said unlike the rest of America.
Oh, you said unlike. Yeah, I thought you said like.
Oh, so we do have the money to house and feed people.
White people.
Good to know.
Let me explain something to people out there because people will think that we're race baiting. We're not race baiting.
I am. No, I'm kidding.
Please don't say that.
I'm kidding.
Please don't say that. My best friend is white. But literally, my best friend is white. Like, we are not in any way bigoted or racist. What we are going to do is always point out the hypocrisy.
Yes.
And if you call us the question saying you're race baiting, I'm going to ask you to think logically. Think. In what way does cutting off the refugee programs all over the world for Black and brown people, because he cut off a lot of programs in Africa.
Yeah.
In Africa.
Yeah.
But the white South Africans, specifically the white South Africans, and what they'll say is because of race-based policy. And you'll hear that a lot in this administration. They talk about DEI is reverse racism. They talk about critical race theory, making white people feel bad about history. Guess what? Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but America doesn't have a great history.
No.
If you can say that your loved one is a little messed up and ain't all right, why is it hard for you to say that your country ain't a little messed up and ain't all right? It's right there in history.
Right.
The idea of America is beautiful. The idea of it is a utopia.
Yeah.
Practice has not been great. Matter of fact, it's been pretty horrific for a lot of groups of people. And if it hasn't been horrific to you, God bless you. You're one of the lucky ones. But Look at that privilege.
And we talking about everybody. Like, it's not been good for everybody. There are white people in this country that have been poor since they landed on the shores.
Irish.
Y'all have generations of poverty. And you don't think something is not working here.
Italians.
Oh, it must be the black people.
It's always black people, right? You know, the country would be great if it wasn't for black people. It was like we wasn't even trying to be here.
We wasn't even trying to be here. Number one. Number two, you mad because we decided to go to school? Or to learn a trade? Or to try to do something? Instead of being generational poverty?
There's still large swarms of black people who are in generational poverty.
Yes, we're also dealing with that too.
But what a lot of people, the animus that people have towards Black Americans specifically is the fact that everything has been done to us in history, right? If you think of the horrors in history in other areas, it's all happened to us here. But still we rise. but still we rise.
Yeah.
And you take everything that we create and try to make it your own, and it just don't be as good. And that's not to say that we're better. We're not better. Nobody is better. We're just resilient. And that comes from having to be resilient because we've constantly been on a land that's been on fire for us. So when people are upset that Trump won a second term and they don't know what they're going to do, and I'm specifically talking to a lot of my white friends who are like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm just like, literally I've been here basically all my life. There's only been, in my almost 45 years, there's only been 16 of them that I've had a president that I actually wanted.
Yeah.
So what is that? A third of my life? 1/3 that I actually wanted. And I wanted them and found out later that they weren't the greatest either. Right? But at least I got what I wanted a third of the time.
Yeah.
And each time that I got the president that I wanted, the fallback from that was incredible.
Yeah.
So,
incredible backlash.
So we're just resilient.
But Republicans or conservatives have been in power and y'all still poor.
Yeah. Still poor. But it's because of us. And actually now it's because of the invasion at the border, and they're literally trying to say that the invasion is so dramatic that it's not martial law. It's like corpus de something where they can just like break away from the rules of the Constitution.
They want to suspend habeas corpus.
Yeah, they want to suspend. Thank you. I was trying to find the words. You know, I don't speak that well sometimes.
Yeah.
Because of an invasion. But supposedly the border is secure right now. Ever since Trump got in office, the border is secure. So if the border is secure, how's there an invasion? They don't make sense. It's a boogeyman.
Yeah.
It's the boogeyman, but the boogeyman has to be brown or black.
Or black, because please don't think that they are not expelling black people. It's just we're not getting the press. But when they was talking about eating the dogs with the cat, he was talking about Haitians.
You're talking about Haitians.
Okay. So it's still very anti-black racism, still very much alive and well in this country.
And ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all want it to be all fun and games when you come to see our show, come to our YouTube exclusive or After Hours Uncensored or whatever, but we got to hit you with a little bit of real. And if you don't understand what the hypocrisy is in this, I don't know why you're really a fan of our show, because I don't think you get it.
But if you hate watch, that's cool because we still get the watch hours.
I mean, that's true too. Yeah, you're getting us money, so thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for hate watching us.
Appreciate you.
This is hypocrisy, front and center.
I mean, it's not. It's clearly a white supremacist back policy. We want to make this country more white. That's what they're saying. We want to get rid of anything black And what we associate with Black is affirmative action, DEI, CRT, even though that's not being taught in schools ever because it's a
Law schools.
Yeah, it's a very complex legal theory.
Yeah.
But sure, anything that could
Woke.
they're even woke.
Get rid of PBS.
The Smithsonian. We don't like the Sesame Street welcomes monsters of all colors and creeds. We don't like
Been welcoming monsters of all colors and creeds since the 1970s, but it's a problem now. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Sesame Street was started as a way to attract children in the inner city. It was initially the initiative was started to help reach and educate kids in the inner city. That's why Sesame Street looked like it's in Brooklyn.
Well, because I know a few Oscar the Grouches.
All the kids are on there, all the, New York kids and stuff like that. Yes. Yeah.
Well,
so it was aimed
I guess
towards,
it was woke.
Yeah, it was. It was aimed towards Black and brown children in the inner cities.
But then it taught everybody.
And
showed kids from all walks of life, other kids that didn't look like them, but were still kids just like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Money and power doesn't want everybody to get along. Mm-hmm. Money and power just wants you to fight so they can control you.
Yeah. And that's a YouTube exclusive.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.